What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the LowkeyLegend. How the fuck y'all doing today? Alright, today I'm back with a brand new video here for you guys. Today, we are back with a brand new episode of Stoner Tips here for you guys. Today, we are jumping on board with episode 122 of the Stoner Tips series. Today, we are going to be talking about ice catchers, or overall putting ice in your bong, how that can play a major effect that you guys might not even think is necessary. Anyways, let's just dive right on into this topic, ice catchers. All right, so if you guys are lucky enough to get your hands on a bong with an ice catcher or an ice perk attachment, then I would really recommend you guys take full advantage of doing so with this perk. Usually a lot of bongs nowadays, if they are big enough, or even if they're not big enough, if they are advanced enough, they will have a new perk installed where you put in the water of the bong from the actual tube of the bong. There will be a little stop, and it'll come out with like about 3 prongs right at the bottom of the actual tube of the bong at the very end. And what that is called, that's called an ice catcher. So what this will allow you to do is pour ice into the bong, and it'll get stopped by this ice catcher as soon as you get to the base, or not the base, but the actual tube of this bong, and start to take your rip. Now, depending on the size of your bong, you can fit multiple ice cubes in here. I've had bongs where they would have a small ice catcher because the bong overall would be kind of small, so I'd be able to throw in, maybe 5-6 ice cubes. Other bongs, I'd be able to throw in like 8 or 9 different ice cubes, full-sized ice cubes, to the point where I would just be able, and what this actual attachment does, I should probably get on that too. It depends on whatever size bong you have, odds are is going to be how many ice cubes, full length ice cubes you could throw in here, okay? So whatever size bong you have will obviously depend on how many ice cubes you can actually fit in this bong. So I've had multiple different size bongs. I had a 2-foot bong, which I still have now, and it has the ice catcher attached to it, and I could throw in easily like 10-12 different full-sized ice cubes into this bong. And what this will do is when you rip the bong, it's gonna make that smoke a lot more chill. And when I say chill, I mean it's gonna be a lot cooler of a hit. So usually when you rip a bong, that smoke's gonna be relatively hot on your lungs, or overall pretty much just an overall hot hit on your lungs. When you throw these ice cubes in attached to the ice catcher, it's gonna make that bong hit a lot smoother. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. And a lot of bongs you guys will buy nowadays will have an ice catcher attachment. Some people don't know what that attachment is actually used for unless you actually do research on it before you buy the bong, or as you're buying it and read what attachments are specifically used for. So hopefully I can get some overall knowledge to you guys on what that attachment is used for. So it's gonna look relatively small, and it's not gonna look like it does much, but it's gonna stop ice from falling all the way into the base of the bong. So when you have this big tube at the end of the bong, depending on whatever size bong you guys have, it could go from 3 inches all the way up to a foot, depending on the size of your guys' bong. So you guys can pretty much throw ice in the beaker, or in the top of that bong, and it's gonna be stopped by an ice catcher. And when you rip that bong, man, I'm telling you, it will have a completely different experience, especially if you guys have a lot of experience ripping bongs just raw, how they are, just some normal fucking bongs. You will definitely notice a big difference when you rip this bong packed with ice in that ice catcher. And it's going to, I honestly, I've ripped a ton of times. I do recommend this strategy, but it's not going to be something you are going to be able to do if you are on the move a lot. If you are going to friends' houses bringing this bong out, or if you have it at a certain individual's house, and you can't find the time to refresh the water and all that stuff. This is going to be an attachment where you guys probably change the water a lot, because once that ice does melt, it's going to turn into water, obviously, and that bong is, from there, it's gonna be a lot more overflown. If you have it packed, or you have the water at a certain level, you throw this ice in there. After you're done smoking, I would recommend changing the water completely, because your bong will be overflown with water, and that's not gonna be a good recommendation that I would prefer you guys to go about, especially if you just are packing it every day with ice. This is gonna be a bong that you're gonna have overflow eventually because of all the ice, and that is not gonna be a good route to go. So make sure when you are packing this ice catcher, you empty out the bong once you're done, or once the ice has melted after your first load of the ice, because after that point, if you pack it again with ice and you haven't changed the water or nothing, odds are that bong might overflow, and that's not a risk you guys might want to take, especially if you put the bong to the side and it's still packed all the way with ice, and then your last session or two is still packed in that bong with water. Odds are it's going to eventually overflow. So make sure if you're in an environment where you can actually pack an ice catcher, then that's going to be the only situation where I think it would be a value for you guys to actually keep on doing this method. You will have to change the water every time you pack the ice catcher. That's just in my opinion. I've learned that the hard way. I come outside the next day in summer and it'll fucking be overflown. It just looks like there's way too much water in there. It might be close to overflowing, but you know damn well when you rip this bong, it's like, damn, there's way too much water in here. So make sure if you're using the ice catcher, you're gonna want to be in an environment where you can retinally change the water without nothing being said to you, and you feel comfortable changing the water every time. So make sure you keep that, make sure you guys keep that under wrap. With all that being said, other than that, I don't really know much else I can give you guys about ice catchers, but this is a perk that is retinally available with a lot of different bongs you guys might get your hands on. Not necessarily in tobacco stores. I don't know if tobacco stores really go for ice catcher perks. You might find a couple pieces out there if you guys just walk in your local tobacco store and try to find one with that. The more expensive pieces will have that, but if you guys shop online, you guys are going to get much better of a deal on that specific bong you're looking at, or just in general on a bong with an ice catcher. So keep that into consideration as well. But ice catchers, very underrated. Not a lot of people like to use them unless, as I said before, you're in an environment where you could change the water without being conservative or sneaky about the entire process, because that's going to be a main source. You got to change the water almost every time you want to pack that ice catcher, but it does go a long way, especially if you are used to hitting the bong without using the ice catcher and you decide to pack your bong up with ice one day. It goes a super long way. I've also been in circumstances where I've packed bongs up in that ice catcher with fruit. I would use strawberries, just bigger fruits. Usually it's always strawberries, or maybe like cut up pineapple, or just bigger fruits about the size of a strawberry, about the size of an ice cube, I would say, to where it really doesn't affect, it wouldn't go melt into the bong after you're obviously after you're done smoking this bong. If you have it packed up with strawberries or whatever the case is, you will have to empty this bong. And you have to be in an area or an environment where it will not cross your mind of having to be sneaky or quick with the entire situation. It might take, it might be a 5, 10, even 15-minute process of changing all the water, cleaning that bong out from your guys' last session. So make sure you keep all that in mind. Other than that, that is really all I have to tell you guys about the ice catcher perk in bongs. I hope you guys did enjoy this video though and did learn something. If you guys did, smash that thumbs up button. It does go a super long way. And I'll be catching you guys very shortly in a brand new episode of Stoner Tips or a brand new video in the future. So thanks for watching, y'all. Stay safe, stay savage, stay low key. It's your boy, the Low Key Legend. I'm out of here, guys. Adios.